Hi, how's it going? I'm Andrew with Investors Hub, and today the background's going to be, a bookshelf. Let's make it a bookshelf. And we're going to be talking with Ted Ohashi, and he writes the Cannabis Report, which is an independent newsletter that's posted on Investors Hub, and we're going to be talking to him about the latest goings-on in the cannabis industry. Please note that our videos are not designed to be direct investing advice. We're here to gather the perspective of different investors. Our channel and our content should just be one stop on the journey of trying to find out where to put your money. So we've been seeing pullbacks in the cannabis market over the past couple of weeks now. What are the market conditions that are in place that you think are causing that?
It's just the volatility in the markets right now. When the markets were going up, the cannabis stocks were going up at, sometimes 10 or 15% in one day. We commented on that and said, it looks a little unsustainable. And it was. And so now, we're just paying the price for that, and prices are correcting back down again. And hopefully it will wash out some of the speculation that seems to have been there. And, I like new rallies to start quieter without a bunch of activity and noise and that sort of thing. And, that usually results in a much longer, not quite as volatile a trend.
So here in the U.S., it looks like we're in the home stretch for the stimulus bill to get passed. How do you think that'll affect the cannabis market?
Well, it's funny the way that has worked out because, the COVID numbers have been quite a bit better over the past 2 or 3 weeks. The economic numbers have been pretty good, but the way the political process kind of gets delayed, you're going to get a big stimulus package, like a very big stimulus package, at a time where there's at least a little bit of question as to whether it's necessary or as necessary as it was 2 months ago. And with interest rates rising, it's not 100% certain anymore that the market will respond favorably. I think it will, and I think the economic trends and so forth will be positive enough to produce a bit of a rally. And the cannabis stocks will participate in that, but I don't think it'll be anything special. It won't be, this is when the cannabis stocks turned. It will simply be, the cannabis stocks and all stocks may be doing a little bit better. And then we have to wait and see how the numbers work out. Whether we enter a fourth wave of COVID or whether the economy can keep growing or whether it shrinks back a little bit. So a lot depends on what's coming up. But the stimulus package will be welcome relief by a lot of people. And so, I think on balance, it will be positive.
So in the Cannabis Report, you said that federal legalization is too far out, really, to be taken into account whenever you're buying stocks in the cannabis industry. But are there any other legislative events that we should be paying attention to that might happen on a sooner timetable?
Oh, sure. The legalization issue is the issue. Like it's the one that will really turn the cannabis group around holus bolus. Without question. That to me looks like it will take a little longer to get through the current administration. So, I think what will happen is we'll see a lot of the other acts or bills that we've talked about go through in one form or another, the MORE Act, the SAFER Act, those kinds of things, which will do a lot for the cannabis industry, but it will fall short of outright legalization. And so, I think that for the cannabis stocks, there's a lot of reason to be optimistic over the next 12 months, but legalization isn't one of those reasons.
So how's your portfolio doing right now? Are there any interesting developments in particular?
Yeah, well, the portfolio has been doing very well in a rocky market. I've had about 25% cash in the portfolio, which helps. We've done some great trades. I mean, this is the Investors Hub Cannabis Report that we're talking about. Our last trade was a buy and a sell, which more than tripled in about a month. And so things like that help the portfolio along. I continue to like the stocks that I like. I don't change my mind sort of every other week. And so, it's the Chirons and the 1933s and the IM Cannabises and the Juicies that and Lexaria that I've mentioned here several times. Those are the kinds of companies that I think are going to do well over the next year or two. And as I've also been writing, people have been buying the large Canadian cannabis producers, Canopy Growth, Aurora, Afria, companies like that. And what I see is they seem to be saying, buy these stocks because they're going to participate in the U.S. Improved environment for cannabis. And I just don't see that. Until legalization happens, those larger companies will not be able to participate in the U.S. economy or in the U.S. cannabis industry unless they're prepared to give up their listing on the Toronto Stock Exchange and the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ, all of which won't let you list there if you're involved in activities that run contrary to federal government legislation. So, those are not the ways to go. I think the smaller, specialized companies that are doing well, that's the way to go.
Any final thoughts?
No. I mean, the markets have been volatile, and I think that's going to continue. You might as well be prepared for it because I think it's going to continue for a while longer, and it's just something that you have to get used to. In the cannabis group, I mean, volatile is volatile. We're talking about the index changing 5 or 10% in a day. I mean, on occasion, it's changed like 20% in a day. And in the Dow Jones average or the Standard & Poor's 500, I mean, 20% up is a good year. And so, it's volatile and you have to be prepared for that.
Thanks for watching. And if you like the content, we talk to Mr. Ohashi every other week on Tuesdays. And like, comment, and subscribe. You can also follow us on Twitter at ihub_vision. And I'll see you again soon.